and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Erin McGuire, owner of Pure Light Wellness. I'm a women's empowerment and worthiness coach. I help women in their business and their life to feel empowered. And if you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to my channel. I intentionally put out hopefully inspiring videos every week, and this is the place to be to get inspired, get empowered so that we can rise. So about a month ago, I put out a video called The Dark Side of Being an Empath. And at that time, I was exploring whether or not I wanted to call myself an empath anymore, because I was seeing and feeling in my own life that a lot of my empath qualities were coming from growing up in a traumatic environment. I've since wanted to make a part 2 to that video because I've had more time to talk to other empaths and to really feel into this for myself and through my work with other people. And so, long story short, I still want to call myself an empath. There are so many gifts to being empathic. There's also the downsides too. And so I just want to share a little bit about both of those and how to help you on your empath journey. I specifically work with empaths, highly sensitives, and light workers. So if that's you, go ahead and leave a comment below, like this video, and share it with your fellow friends. So in that other video, I'll make sure to leave a link to it below this video if you want to go back and watch. I talk about which came first, the trauma or are we born empaths? And after some discussion on this, I really truly believe that some people can be born empaths or just born with more sensitive nervous systems, right? So maybe it's rather, again, I'm kind of working this out on this video with you all. Maybe it's rather that we are born as highly sensitive beings and that possibly sometimes trauma can play into being empaths. Or maybe we can be born being empaths. What's the difference? It's a psychological term to be a highly sensitive person. It affects 20% of the population, and it essentially just boils down to people that are born with more sensitive nervous systems. So it's actually a physical, component of your body, right? That your nervous system is actually just more sensitive to the world around you, which, as those of us that know what it's like to be a highly sensitive person, it's, really fun. It leads to all kinds of interesting experiences. And then as an empath, you can actually be sensitive to what other people are feeling. You can actually start to feel that within your being. So sometimes I get like a sharp pain in my belly if somebody shows me something like an open wound or where they hurt themselves. I can pick up very easily what other people are feeling, and that gets very confusing when you don't know those skills. All of a sudden you can be feeling really angry or really sad or depressed, and you can actually take on that feeling and that energy. So a lot of times people that are empaths, the people around them report, "Oh, I feel so much better after hanging out with you," because you kind of just took on all of their stuff. Unconsciously. Sometimes it's consciously, sometimes it's unconsciously. So that's kind of the difference between a highly sensitive person and an empath. And when it comes to being an empath, when we grow up in a traumatic environment, again, are we born empaths or do we become empaths through trauma? I think the answer is both. Both can happen. So you can be either or you can be both. You can be somebody that was born an empath, that had a traumatic childhood, that became, more intuitive, more sensitive because you kind of had to be, right? Because in my case, I'll just give you my case for an example. I grew up around a mother who had an alcohol problem and narcissism and would yell at me a lot. So my little nervous system that was already sensitive just kind of shut down and was like, we really have to know, we have to predict what mood she's in, what she's feeling, so that I can be safe. And so that became a really great survival skill in that case that my body created. But as an adult, it made me become a people pleaser and a perfectionist. Like I needed to make sure everybody around me was okay so that I knew I would be okay. So we carry those traumas into our adulthood, and then we don't really understand why we're doing what we're doing. And we have these old unresolved patterns and traumas. So I want to go back to the point that being an empath it can be your superpower. It can also be your demise if you're not doing the internal work, the inner work to heal those unresolved traumas. Your inner child needs a lot of love and attention in order for you to integrate all the different parts of yourself that may have experienced the trauma as a child. So we can have those scared inner child from different ages, and then you end up getting a protector too. So an older you as a child, maybe your 5-year-old was very scared and traumatized, so maybe a 10 or 12-year-old kind of comes in as the protector. And that part of you also needs love and attention because it's been taking on this job of protecting when it didn't know how to do that. So that's kind of called parts work. You can do that in therapy or healing work. When we do the inner work to heal our unresolved trauma through inner child work, through shadow work, through ego work, through healing, and all these things we do in my Empowered Women monthly membership, by the way. And if you're interested in it, there's a link below this video. There are no contracts. You can sign up for a month, see if you like it, and go from there. But when you do that inner work to heal yourself as an empath, then you're no longer going to be taking on other people's stuff, because that's kind of a byproduct. Unresolved trauma is, for a lot of us that have these kinds of issues, it's like we needed to be the person for our parent. You know, we were kind of their little healer, their go-to person. And so you carry that into adulthood and you become that sponge for everybody around you because it's what you know, it's how you got love and attention as a child, was by being that for that caregiver or parent. And so when you start healing the unresolved parts of yourself, your whole world starts to shift. And you no longer are subject to taking on everybody else's stuff. You still have to do your own kind of day-to-day cleansing and clearing, you know, saging or clearing your home. I like to do an energy routine that kind of helps me not take on stuff throughout the day. We can be more susceptible at different times in our life to taking on people's stuff, but for the most part, your inner work and you're truly working on healing any unresolved trauma through the different ways I mentioned, then you will not be susceptible or as susceptible to the negative side of being an empath. So I hope that all makes sense to you. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'd love to help you on this. I myself have been through all of that, and I can say on the other side that I feel so much more free. I don't feel responsible for everybody's stuff. I don't feel like I have to people please and make everybody happy around me so that I can feel safe. That was an internal belief that I held, and it was very detrimental to my life. It was holding me back from success in my business, success in my relationships, and success in my health, because it's very detrimental on your body and your health when you have to constantly be everybody's everything. It's a recipe for burnout. And again, it's all unconscious. This stuff is all unconscious. We don't even know that we're doing it. So please leave me any questions or comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Again, my Empowered Women monthly membership is something we go into all of these tools and techniques: inner child work, shadow work, ego work, ancestral healing, liberating the family dynamic, setting your goals and intentions, balancing your feminine and masculine energies, learning how to manifest, all of the things. It's a no contract. You can do it month to month or pay for a year, and a link will be below this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit that bell if you like this video, and please share this channel or this video with friends. I would love to see more like-minded empaths, light workers, and highly sensitives in this group. And I hope to see you again very soon.